If I told you that your organization might be stuck, not because of a bad strategy, not because of the environment you operate in, not because of your people, but because of how you're thinking about problems, would you recognize the signs? Most leaders wouldn't, because deficit thinking doesn't announce itself. It just becomes the water you swim in. Here are 5 signs it's happening in your organization right now. Sign 1. Every meeting starts with what went wrong. Not what we've learned, not what we want to build, what went wrong, who dropped the ball, and how do we stop it happening again. Now, accountability matters, but when your default opening is a post-mortem, you're training your team to show up defensive, not generative. People stop bringing bold ideas because bold ideas carry the risk of becoming next week's post-mortem. If your team is playing safe, ask yourself, what are we rewarding in the room? Sign 2. Your change initiatives start with a problem statement. We have an engagement problem. We have a retention problem. We have a culture problem. The problem statement feels rigorous, analytical, like good leadership. But here's what it actually does. It anchors the entire change effort in what's broken. Every conversation, every proposal, every solution gets measured against the deficit. You spend 6 months trying to be less bad instead of figuring out how to be great. Organizations that start with what do we want more of move faster and sustain change longer. That's not optimism. That's what the data shows. Sign 3. Your best people are exhausted from explaining why things won't work. This one is subtle. It shows up as rigor, as due diligence. We just want to stress test the idea. But if the dominant voice in your planning conversations is the voice of obstacles, risks, and reasons to wait, you're not stress testing, you're stuck. The tell, your most creative, most forward-thinking people go quiet. They stop pitching, they stop nodding, because the cost of an idea gets torn apart. And that cost of an idea getting torn apart is higher than the reward of it getting built. Deficit thinking doesn't just slow down innovation, it drives away the people who generate it. Sign 4. Feedback in your organization is almost always corrective. Think about the last piece of feedback you gave or received. Was it about a gap, a miss, something that needed fixing? That's not inherently wrong, but if corrective feedback is the only kind your culture knows how to give, you're missing half the data. Strengths, what people do brilliantly, what conditions bring out their best, are just as strategic as gaps. Possibly more so, because you can build a whole organization around people doing more of what they're already exceptional at, but you can't build anything sustainable around a list of things nobody's allowed to get wrong. Sign 5, the word realistic is used to shut down possibility. That's not realistic. Let's be realistic. Realistically, we can't. Every organization needs grounded thinking, but when realistic becomes the word that ends conversations instead of sharpening them, it's usually deficit thinking, wearing the costume of wisdom. The most transformative things Tanya and I have seen organizations achieve started as ideas someone called unrealistic. Spaciousness, creating the conditions for new thinking, doesn't mean ignoring constraints. It means not letting the constraints speak first. So, how many of those landed? 1, 2, maybe it's worth a conversation with your team. 3 or more, and I gently suggest the thinking pattern is the problem, not the strategy. The good news is this is learnable. Appreciative Inquiry and the tools we use at Spaciousness Works exist specifically to help organizations shift from deficit to generative thinking without bypassing the hard stuff. If you want to understand the methodology behind that shift, start with our video on the 4D cycle, link below. It walks through exactly how that transition works in practice. And if you're watching this thinking, this is my organization right now. Reach out. So if you're thinking that, this is my organization right now, connect with us. We'd love to talk. There's a link below to book a call with us directly. Subscribe for more of these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.